All right, so this is some extra help as I go through the homework assignment. I'm going to go over a few of the problems. So starting with number 1, is the absolute value isolated? And the answer to that is yes. Is this a less than or greater than problem? It is. The absolute value is less than, and actually less than or equal to. But we look at our rules. Which rule is the less than rule? It's this one right here. So the setup for this problem, since the absolute value is isolated, is going to be this right here. And of course, you have to watch out for no solution, but this is not the case since it's not less than 0. So the setup for this problem is going to be x minus 3 is less than or equal to 1 and greater than or equal to negative 1. Add 3 to all 3 sides of this compound inequality. So this is our answer in inequality form. Graphically, 4 goes about right there on the number line. It's a closed dot since you have the or equal to symbol. It's a closed dot at 2, and we're shading everything in between. Need both of those answers, the inequality and the graph. Number 3, is the absolute value isolated? And the answer is yes. There's nothing on the left-hand side other than absolute value symbols. So our next step is, which rule are we going to use? It's a greater than problem. So since it's a greater than problem, we're going to use this rule on number 3. So this is the form of our setup. It's going to be greater than A or less than negative A. And since we don't have a 0 over here, it's not all real numbers. So the setup is going to be 3x minus 1 is greater than 8, or it's greater than problem, greater than problem, less than negative 8. And then solve both those inequalities for x. Add 1 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. Add 1 to both sides. Divide both sides by positive 3. We do not flip the symbol since we're dividing by a positive number. So this is our answer in inequality form. And you could have it the other way. You could write it as x is less than negative 7/3 or x is greater than 3. It's the same thing. It might be helpful to figure out what decimal negative 7/3 is. First, it's negative 2 1/3, which is negative 2.3 repeating. That'll help you with the graph just a little bit. So open dot. Don't really need to write those up there, but just for a reminder, because we do not have the or equal to symbol, we're going to shade everything greater than 3, or we're going to shade everything less than negative 2 1/3. About right there. You don't have to have the number line scaled perfectly. Just be in the ballpark. All right, I'll leave 2 and 4 for you guys, and I'm going to do 5 and 7. If it's helpful for you on number 5, you don't have to do this, but some people like to rewrite it where the x is on the left-hand side. But make sure that inequality symbol is still facing the same way, because we're not really doing anything mathematical there. We're just changing how it looks visually. Absolute value is not isolated. So before we do anything else, we need to isolate the absolute value. And you'll notice we need to divide both sides by a negative number. So think to yourself, what happens when you divide or multiply both sides by a negative number? Inequality symbol flips. Absolute value cannot be less than a negative number. So that's our answer. We leave an empty graph. And finally, number 7. A lot of people are tempted to say no to solution right off the bat because it's less than a negative number. That's not right, because the absolute value is not isolated. So subtract 6 from both sides first. And then we're going to divide those sides by negative 2. Of course, we're dividing by a negative number. So the inequality symbol is going to flip. So it's the absolute value of x plus 3 is greater than 9, great or than 9. So if it's a great or than problem, we can now split it into 2 inequalities. X plus 3 is greater than 9, or x plus 3 is less than negative 9. Subtract 3 from both sides. Here's the answer in inequality form. Open dots in this problem. You don't have an or equal to symbol. I'm going to shade everything that's greater than 6 or less than negative 12.